Hello, welcome back to Monday's Ireland AM.
Now, it's Climate Action Week and Derek is in a community centre in Clondalkin this morning.
How are we getting on, Derek?
Yes, guys, busy bees down here at Quarryvale Family Resource Centre. Clondalkin in West County Dublin is where we're at this morning. As you mentioned, Anna, we're talking all things food sustainability, the great work that they do here on the ground in the local community. Join us now are Karen Johnson, who's the manager of the Family Resource Centre, and Evan O'Brien, who is the founder of Food Cloud. And Karen, we'll start with you because when we entered here this morning, there was a lovely plaque up on the wall, and everyone who enters here as a guest will leave as a friend, and I love that.
Yes, that's exactly what we're about. This an FRC is for everybody. Everybody in the community can come here, access our services, join our activities, and so on. And we want everybody to be a friend here. You're not a client or even a guest when you're here. You're part of it.
Now, tell us about the services that you provide here in the centre itself.
Right, so the FRC programme has over 120 FRCs around the country. We're all different because we all respond to the needs of the community where we're in. We work in communities that experience disadvantage, and we want to work with the community to strengthen and empower them. So in our case, some of the things we provide is a preschool, we have therapeutic services, we have family support, information, adult education, social activities, and then, of course, we have the food bank.
The food bank.
Yes.
And this is, we have our volunteers here this morning.
Yes.
Tell us about the food bank itself. What's involved?
Right, so the food bank is supported by Food Cloud and Tesco. We couldn't do it without them. Also, we rely on the community to support us, and they're great at that as well. So the food bank is there for anybody in our area who needs food support. Not having food is a huge stressor on anybody. And if we can provide food, they can maybe stop feeling that stress. Will I have food for today? Will I have food for my children? And then they can maybe start looking at other areas of their lives where they might need to deal with some issues. And we're here to help them with that as well, if they want it.
And I suppose a lot of families may come in here at the start and potentially feel embarrassed.
They do. They feel ashamed, embarrassed that they can't provide, but that is the situation for so many today. The cost of food has gone up a lot, the cost of living has gone up. So anybody, it can be a single person, it can be a retired person or a family with lots of children, they come in here. We ask them a few questions in private because we also want to gather the statistics. We want to combat food poverty by knowing why it's happening. But they do leave as friends, and they tend to not have a problem coming at all in the future. And we have a bit of a banter with them when they come to pick up the food.
This is where you come in then, Evan, because you were the founder of Food Cloud. It started off, in fact, as a university project.
Yeah, so over 10 years ago now, we started off as a college project where we were matching food businesses with local charities. But, you know, over the last 10 years, we've been working with Tesco and others to redistribute lots of food to community organisations like Quarryvale all over the country.
And from there, then, you've expanded internationally. You're into the European market as well.
Yeah, so how we work is we basically have 3 warehouses in Dublin, Galway and Cork where we get large volumes of food and we redistribute it from there out to charities like Quarryvale. And we also have a technology platform. So if you're a Tesco store manager and you have surplus at the end of every day, you upload it onto our system and it sends a message directly to Quarryvale and about over 300 organisations like them across the country. And so basically the food is from the place it arises to where it's needed as quickly as possible. And I suppose in terms of internationally, our equivalents in other countries would have had the warehouse side sorted, but they never really would have thought about the store level and the technology. So we work with NGOs and Tesco in the UK, in Czech Republic and Slovakia, where Tesco stores there can also donate to their communities in other countries as well. So it's always working in partnership with NGOs, and yeah, it's an extremely effective way of making sure that where the food waste, potential food waste is arising, it can get to those that need it most as quickly as possible.
Now, we're talking about food waste and food sustainability. Where are we at in the world right now?
Yeah, so the statistics are pretty crazy. Like up to 40% of food produced globally is wasted. So it's a significant amount of land, resources, energy, time to grow food
right
that's
across the board,
across the world that's never actually eaten. And that is a serious environmental issue, and it's also a social issue when you think that people aren't food secure in communities like ours and in communities around the world. So I suppose where Food Cloud works is that intersection between where the surplus could arise and where it's needed needed most, and we're trying to do our bit to ultimately reduce food waste, but in a way that really supports communities and creates more resilient and food sustainable communities as well.
Karen, you look after around 200 families here in the local area.
Yes, we do. And we also have an outreach in Rathcoole for that part of Dublin Midwest. So they come to us about once a month and they go away with at least 4 bags each time, a mixture of non-perishable goods, fresh food, and often also hygiene products, especially period products, because period poverty is also a reality. And then always some treats. We believe in treats for people.
And coming up to Halloween, of course, it's a fun time for families and for kids.
It is. We're already starting to collect a bit of sweets and bomb bracks and those things, so that everybody will have a treat when they leave at the end of October.
And before we let you go, of course, this wouldn't happen without the amazing volunteers we've working here.
It wouldn't. We have volunteers stock taking, packing bags, picking up from Tesco and other places. And no, we couldn't. We do a lot of other things here, and as staff, we just wouldn't have the time to do it all. It would not happen without the volunteers.
Important part. Where can we find out more online?
So you can go to food.cloud to find out about us.
And here in the centre itself?
Quarryvale FRC to find out about us.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning. Really appreciate all the hard work, all the volunteer effort that goes in here on the ground. But for now, guys, back to you in the studio.
Thank you,
It's
Derek.
doing great work there this morning.
Fair play to them. It's amazing, isn't it?
Really
It's amazing. It's terrible that people need food banks in this day and age, but amazing that they can step in and do that.
And up next, Mindy Keane is working her magic in the kitchen. We're going to see you very shortly.